So I do not know what's going on in ATP. I just don't have the bandwidth. So, wish them luck.
Hello everybody, welcome back to The Body Serve. I'm Jonathan.
I'm James.
Thank you to everybody who's donated to the GoFundMe so far. We're at 43% of our goal.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who has shared it and liked it. It really helps a lot. Just really grateful to have this little community after all these years.
Of course, with this being our ATP Thirst episode, feel free to think of us as dancers for money and throw some coin.
Oh, wow.
Talkers for money. Everything GoFundMe related can be found at linktree.com/thebodyserve. Keep in mind too that this year we will also have the postcards going out as well as bookmarks with brand new imagery, new designs, and those who donate $100 or more will qualify to receive those in the mail. Feel free also to start sending us your addresses from now so we can get started on that as soon as possible.
So excited about this one. I know we've been talking about it for months. I think I dropped it on a whim in one of our episodes and said, we should do this.
Well, even before then, you told me long ago this is something you wanted to do. And I was hesitant at first because it can't just be a hot, not type of episode.
No.
There has to be some kind of foregrounding as to why we are doing this, why we should be doing, well, I don't know if we should be doing it, but why we are able to do it in a less problematic way than maybe others can.
Oh, well, I think the listeners will be the judge. But let's be honest. Watching attractive people do sports is a big draw for sports in general, right? Whether we like to talk about it or not, watching hot people play sports is one of the reasons that people enjoy it.
And it's one of the very few reasons why any gay man would be watching men's tennis. It's not for the personalities.
And honestly, there are many, many reasons to be unhappy right now in this world. This is one thing that brings people joy.
Mm-hmm. If you are listening to this, you have to agree to hold nothing against us. This is the...
Do they have to?
This is the contract that we're entering into right now. We're doing something out of the box for us, kind of putting ourselves out there a bit. You're going to find out maybe a bit more about us than you knew before.
Mm-hmm. If there are any psychoanalysts listening, I'm sure they'll have plenty to go on. Did you make a play on Hold It Against Me on purpose? In the spirit of this episode?
I plead the fifth.
That was unconscious?
I think if we get through the run of this episode with no more than 5 attempted cancellations, I think we'd have done well.
We did something like this, I think in our first season, when we assumed that nobody was listening, so we could say whatever we wanted. And then we did a Thirst Trap Olympics, which I listened back to it recently. It was more like giving medals to those who work hardest to thirst trap. So not necessarily the hottest, but just the people who are really working for it, really want you to look.
And who are the medalists back then?
You know what, I forgot.
Well,
I think Stan was one of them.
Is the objectification of men okay? Go.
That's a big question, and it's something that we dealt with last time we did it. And every time you talk about someone you think is hot, you grapple with that question, especially if you do it publicly. Is objectifying men different from objectifying women? Is it better? What makes us as gay men different from straight men ranking women by attractiveness, right? And these days that would be seen as largely unacceptable.
Mm-hmm. I think the simple boiled down answer is power dynamics, James.
I think that is. I think if you believe that power does not exist, then everybody and everything is the same. That objectifying one gender is exactly the same as doing it to another. The difference is that the objectification of women makes women unsafe. And it has throughout millennia, right? We live in a culture organized around the objectification of women, sexually and physically. Pretty much all of our art, all of our types of media were founded on this idea of a male spectator and a female object. And that goes in line with how our societies are largely built. Women have had to fight for any sort of power in these Western societies. Men are the assumed provider, assumed leader, president, head of household, whatever.
And this is no different in tennis, no different in sport. We see how women reporters are treated in the sport, that they have to look a certain way primarily before the quality of their work is assessed. Mm-hmm. That they have to appeal to certain demographics. They appeal to men in a certain way before we can then say, well, how good are they at their job?
You can see any post, any video on TikTok or YouTube, if the subject is female, there will be comments about her looks. And if she's not conventionally attractive, the comments will be obsessive about her looks in a way that men don't deal with.
Over the past few decades, though, we've seen a bit of a shift in the way men are objectified as well in the public sphere. Mm-hmm. It's become more acceptable. And what comes with that is men now facing way larger pressure to conform to physical standards of beauty previously only felt by women.
In large part, you can thank gays for that, right? A lot of heterosexual male beauty standards are what was attractive to gays 5 years ago. I think the boy band phenomenon in the late 90s was really emblematic of that. The way that they objectified themselves was really reflective of what gay men were into at the time.
And which is why you see so many straight men, quote-unquote, queer-baiting.
Sure, yes. But I think men are definitely facing a lot more pressure to look a certain way, to be built a certain way. And, you know, TikTok has certainly not helped. In other forms of social media, you see like looks maxing, the obsessiveness with getting swole and big, and the gym culture, the creatine, the steroids, everything. There is a different kind of pressure on men that I think didn't exist a few decades ago.
Creatina! Creatina!
So all this to say, the gaze, and we'll talk about the gaze, G-A-Z-E, by the way, Cate Blanchett. The visual gaze is connected to power, right? You just cannot take that away. The person looking is important here. That's not to say that objectifying anybody is okay. It's just a way to kind of separate what makes it different when we look at women versus men.
So you're trying to build a case for our free pass?
No, not a free pass, just something to think about. And honestly, it's something I think about all the time. I wish I could go through life not thinking of it at all. But when I say objectify, you know, there's a difference between sort of being into somebody and actually treating them as if they were an object.
Part of this episode is going to interrogate the reasons why certain men are deemed attractive, the things that attract people to men, different categories, if you will.
When we were planning this, I was thinking, you always hear, it's conventional wisdom that men are more visual than women.
It's largely to excuse the amount of porn that men watch. I hear that a lot.
Sure, but you also hear,
that.
Straight women are less into looks, or they don't care what a guy looks like. It's more about aura or personality or whatever. You know, I am so resistant to say that any of these things are essential or natural or fixed. You know, that's what a cultural studies background will do for you. Like, nothing is biological. So I resist when people say, well, men are just more visual. I don't think that's necessarily true, and there are studies that sort of interrogate that.
I think society allows men to be lazy in their grooming, in their upkeep. I think women have allowed men to get away with it for far too long in the heterosexual dynamic of things. I'll never forget being in grad school in London, Ontario, and on the weekend, it's cold, it's wintertime, it's freezing, and you have all these young women trotting down Richmond Street in miniskirts, short dresses, dressed to the nines, and they're accompanied by men who are slovenly dressed in hoodies for comfort, with the way they are perceived not even on the top 10 of considerations for their fit that night.
This is like the sitcom trope of the schlubby guy and the hot wife, right? King of Queens. The Simpsons satirizes this.
People don't blink twice when they see a hot woman with an average dude or a hot woman with an ugly dude. They immediately say, well, I guess he must have other things going for him. Oh. And it goes down...
Is that what they think?
It boils down to money.
Or his money, yeah.
Other packages he may be carrying, you know. Whereas the flip side of that is it's always deemed or thought to be weird that a hot man would be with an average woman. Like, that's crazy.
Or, God forbid, have you ever seen a sitcom with a hot guy and an ugly wife? No,
exactly.
That women are not allowed to be ugly.
Because, as you said before, that the male gaze directs how we live our lives.
Mm-hmm. And so we'll talk about Laura Mulvey in a second, and I want to think about if that's still true. So I did some reading, and I'm certainly not a scientist, but I was reading medical journal stuff and trying to make sense of it. And there have been studies about, you know, where sexual arousal comes from, and a lot of them focus only on the physiological responses, right? The things, you know, the heart beating, the sweat, the other things.
This is sounding a lot like Masters of Sex.
Right. but the cognitive side of arousal is less understood by scientists. And how people react physically is often different from how they describe what's going on in their brain, right? They may be physically aroused by things that mentally they're not clocking.
An article in the National Library of Medicine, authored by Heather Rupp and Kim Wallen, in it they write, quote, "Subjective sexual arousal results from an interaction between cognitive and experiential factors, such as affective state, previous experience, and current social context, which set the conditions for the production of peripheral physiological reactions." That's a lot of science speak.
It is. But what it basically means is that those physiological reactions you have when you're aroused are kind of filtered through this feedback process through the brain. It is not necessarily when you're born determined that you will be into these things. There are a lot of social and cultural factors that happen that we don't fully understand that determine some of those physical reactions.
Are you describing the first time you saw Rafa's famous ass? That's an example. Mm-hmm. Not quite sure what's going on, but I am surely aware of something.
Right. But the data supports, at least from this study, supports that men and women differ in their response to the same stimuli. But we don't know to what extent these responses are socialized versus essential, right? Versus like innate.
Meaning, if women grew up from young girls into women with men dressing sluttily and being expected to dress a certain way for their pleasure, ultimately, they could then have different responses than this study is projecting.
Who knows?
Is there a difference between straight male gaze, straight woman gaze, and gay gaze? Somebody even said when we were advertising this episode, granny gaze, which I think is an appropriate way of looking at how ATP players are thirsted at.
Yeah, because mature people also have desires, right? So I have never been a woman, and I've never been a straight man, really, let's be honest. So I can't speak for what it feels like, the gaze.
Right, but we can speak to what we've observed in this decade plus in covering tennis.
So if you just look at the fandoms, right, the groups following around certain tennis players, Rafa's fans, in our experience, there's a big proportion that were older women, like let's say 40 and older.
I mean, even much older. Do you remember when we first started and we were much more connected on tennis Twitter? We had parasocial friendships with Rafa fans who were in their 60s.
Yeah, 60s and 70s.
And we were kind of surprised at certain points to find out their actual age based on how they acted on the internet.
Right, because it was very sexual too. It wasn't just like, oh, cutesy. So I wonder if the communities around these players form just because it's community, just because it's like a social group and people find affinity with others, or is it really about what this player is giving off? What is it about him that speaks to you as a group?
And with that specific demographic of Rafa fan, we saw a distinct dynamic whereby they wanted to both, and simultaneously maybe, objectify and baby him.
Yeah, there is that dynamic of mothering. And you might see it with other players who are perceived as like needing help. Like someone like Andrei Rublev is infantilized by certain fans, I think because he often looks as if he's in distress.
He is a confounding figure in doing this episode for me, because personally I don't find him hot, but I can see how some would find him attractive. And I've gone through message boards, Reddit posts, tennis forum, all this stuff, and I've seen him described as runway worthy, that he's model like, that he is beautiful, that he's sexy, he's hot, he's all these things that personally I would not describe him as.
And also, if you're looking from, okay, what's the gay ideal of masculinity, that isn't it, right? And so that's why I think in doing this episode, I feel like, am I basic? Are my desires basic? They're certainly influenced by the culture in which we live, but I can see, I love Andrei's hair. I don't know that I'm like into him like that, but I understand it.
He has a great smile. He's got aura, more aura than most male tennis players.
Certainly.
He's got an it something. But for the basic gay, maybe physically, it's not quite all there.
Right.
Which would go a ways toward explaining the differences between those different gays, right? Gazes, Gazes. In that a granny gaze may not be as into the physical part of Andrei, but more so everything else he offers. Whereas the basic gaze,
or
the
maybe
basic gaze is gaze.
Well, you can also talk about like the teen girl gaze, right?
Yeah.
What kind of pop stars appeal to tweens, to young women?
And wafty is really in right now.
Like the boy band thing, guys who feel innocent and safe. It makes sense that those kind of men would appeal to girls, right? To younger girls. There have been some studies about objectification showing that gay men objectify themselves and other men a lot more than straight men do. And this is typically true only when an individual also shows a high tendency to self-objectify. Meaning, if I place a great emphasis on my own physical appearance, I'm more likely to view others that way.
So if you are the gay gym rat who is obsessed with having a certain amount of muscles on your body, your BMI is important, your waistline inch level is important, then you're then going to want to be with somebody or objectify somebody and hold them to the same standards you hold yourself to.
Or you're at least more likely to view male bodies in that way. And this, of course, is not everybody, right? This is about trends. But I'm speaking from experience. The gay male community is extremely body focused, right? It's
toxic.
Well, yes. And in a way that like it's so concentrated that I think it is a lot more focused on the physical than other communities, like heterosexual people. If you've taken cultural studies, film studies, media, you have probably run across Laura Mulvey's Visual Pleasure and Narrative Cinema, which was published in 1975, and is really like the foundational text as far as male gaze in cinema, like the ways of looking. And Mulvey writes that in conventional cinema, there are two main structures of looking, she calls it. One is scopophilia, which is the pleasure in looking, literally, And it's the pleasure in using another person as an object through sight. And the other way, which I find really interesting, is the identification with the image on screen. So not seeing yourself as separate, not a subject-object phenomenon. This is actually looking and identifying with the person you see on screen. I think this can be really instructive in terms of sports. So check out this quote from Mulvey about male movie stars.
Quote, a male movie star's glamorous characteristics are thus not those of the erotic object of the gaze, but those of the more perfect, more complete, more powerful ideal ego conceived in the original moment of recognition in front of the mirror.
And she's writing through a psychoanalysis framework. So she's using a lot of Freudian terms like ego libido. She talks about the mirror stage when a baby first recognizes itself in the mirror, but it recognizes a different version of itself. But this quote reminded me of men looking at the male athlete, right? This isn't cinema. It's not exactly the same relationship because you can be there in person and be part of the production.
But the majority of people consume sport through the television.
Yeah.
So it's very similar.
So let's say you're a man watching sports on TV. Many times you're literally wearing a man's name and number on your body, right? That man has claimed you without knowing it.
Oh.
So what is the way of looking if you're a straight man watching sports? It's not necessarily erotic, but it's a way of identifying with that person you see on screen. And I'm sure somebody has already taken Mulvey's work in this direction, and I just haven't read it. These are probably not original thoughts.
Well, if they haven't, somebody's going back to school.
I know, right? But in thinking about this, the second version, which she calls the ego libido, it's not erotic, right? It's more about identifying with this active, powerful, ideal figure. But sports are located in the body, right? Sports are literally someone using their body to achieve things or win a game, or there's an object. So a man watching a man play sports is necessarily about his body.
Okay.
Right? I mean...
In partly.
No, but I mean, men sit there and they say, oh, Tom Brady's my guy. That's my man. Thank you for my man. That's my man, right? They're repping this guy they don't know. And why he is great is because he can use his powerful body to do things. So there's something not necessarily erotic, but homosocial about that.
Also, how many times have we heard John McEnroe specifically go on and on and on and on about Rafa Nadal's body on court? Mm-hmm. He takes a bathroom break, and then he tells the story of the time he ran into Rafa in the bathroom, and, oh my God, can't say what I really want to say, but you can infer what it is that I'm lusting but not over.
Right. I mean, how many times can they talk about or avoid talking about his ass? In the same essay, Mulvey wrote that, quote, the male figure cannot bear the burden of sexual objectification. And she goes on later to say, man is reluctant to gaze at his exhibitionist like.
What does that mean, exhibitionist like?
So the male ideal figure on the screen, do men gaze at that person? Do they objectify that person? And in Mulvey's world, in her formulation, because of existing power dynamics, existing ideology, male figures simply cannot be sexually objectified. And I wonder if that's true. I wonder if that's still true. And also if it's a way to look at how other people are doing their ATP hot lists, right? One of the inspirations, well, I don't know if it's an inspiration, but one of the things we've been thinking about planning this episode is the Nothing Major podcast doing the hotness bracket. And so what does it mean to have 4 straight men rank the hottest players?
To say, well, it's definitely going to be Tommy Paul versus Berrettini. Those are 2 of the hottest players. Those are the 2 hottest players. It's easy. Well, why? What makes them hot? What specifically about Tommy Paul is hot to you?
Mm-hmm. And so I had actually never listened. I saw the bracket, and I'd never listened to the episodes where they talk about the bracket. And they're actually very short segments. I thought it was like a whole episode devoted to it. They're pretty brief, and to me it reinforced that quote from Mulvey, man is reluctant to gaze at his exhibitionist like. They weren't gazing, right? A lot of the discussion about who's hot, who's not, was peppered with, oh, their games are beautiful. Or this person is basically accepted to be handsome already.
It's a lot of beating around the bush while giving themselves some plausible deniability should they face any charges.
It was just interesting, and this is not a condemnation, but it's when you hear straight men talk about who they find attractive, it's always safe picks. It's always Brad Pitt back then. Ryan Reynolds is the big pick among dads these days. It's always conventionally attractive, widely accepted, handsome men.
So you can say, well, Matteo Berrettini is obviously the hottest one because a plurality of women who follow men's tennis think so. They've heard it. They've probably seen Berrettini be mobbed by Beatle-esque fans. You know, they've seen that dynamic play out, so they know that this is a safe thing to say. Whereas, what if they had said, well, you know, actually, somebody like Alexei Popyrin does not get the due he deserves. Like, I find him unconventionally attractive.
Right, because what does hot mean in their frame?
Because
right?
this way, you're actually engaging with the subject material. You're actually doing the homework.
Yeah.
You're actually trying to find out who's hot. This also existed in a time where I feel like straight men have been given a lot more permission to talk about this type of stuff.
Totally. And I think they should, right?
But as we just said, in a very safe type of way. How many times this year did we see an ATP video where the men are asked to talk about who the hottest players are on tour? Whether it's who do you think are the hottest players on tour, or who do you think were voted to be the hottest players on tour? I swear I saw 3 different cycles of this year. It's everywhere.
And I think the institutions themselves are way more interested in slutting them out, so to speak. Right?
Well, they're not. I'm not seeing any body issues. I'm not seeing any photo shoots that are risque. I'm just seeing a lot of lip service. There's nothing risque about it.
Okay.
If you're going to be talking about slutting out, that's not slutting out.
Well, a few of them are slutting themselves out. I know this is a lot of...
Yeah, do you think the listeners thought they'd be going to school?
I know,
in
right?
listening to this
but
episode?
Listen, this is just who we are. You can skip to the juicy parts, but I feel like we had to frame it first. So why are we even doing this? Part of it is that there was so much conversation about the nothing major hotness bracket. I was like, wait, we should do one, or something like that. And for me, I don't know, I feel like there is this wave of sex negativity and prudishness that I kind of want to fight against in a way that's not oppressive itself. You know, I just think, there's a lot of fun to be had. Like, sex is okay. Finding people hot is okay.
And on the back of heated rivalry, this is the perfect time to slut it up on air a little bit. Now, this may reveal a little bit more of our preferences than we would have liked. Invariably.
Right.
Whether it's explicitly said or not, you can do the math in certain situations. But we're just going to roll with it, while also trying not to be mean about it.
Totally. This is not trying to say that anyone is unattractive or to create some objective criteria by which to judge someone's hotness. Beauty is incredibly subjective. So if we don't list somebody, it's not because they're bad or ugly. It's just subjective.
That said, there are 4 players in particular who would make any top 10 list in men's tennis today who will not feature in any real way the rest of the episode because they simply do not do it for us. And those 4, drumroll please. Matteo Berrettini. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Personally, the legs thing is an issue. It's a barrier.
And the nothing major guys really went in
They
on
clocked
his
it
legs.
right
Oh
away.
my god.
Yeah.
For me, Matteo is very handsome. Like, that's indisputable. He's just not for me. That's it. He's for a lot of people, right?
For me, he's handsome, but not hot. Also, I generally do not like super tall people.
Yeah.
Or I should say I'm not attracted to super tall people.
You like them just fine. There's
totally
nothing wrong
fine,
with
yeah.
tall people.
I heard somebody say that they were a stone's throw away from Matteo, and it was then, looking in his eyes, that they were truly mesmerized. And a wonderful experience for you. Happy you had it. But for me, I need more than just from the eyes up.
I will say, I mean, this goes for the entire episode. Seeing someone in person can be really transformative.
Yes.
They can look totally different or have a charisma that you did not feel on TV.
Or they can have a charisma that doubles down on what you see on TV in the opposite direction.
Indeed. And that has happened as well. Or somebody who is conventionally attractive but whose personality is so rotten that you'd never put them on a list.
Lorenzo Musetti?
Then that's not who I was talking about.
No, but also not for me.
Right. Again, a very handsome man. Not for me.
Jack Draper? Also not for me.
Yeah, Jack is definitely coming up, I think, especially among the younger folks.
Mm-hmm. But Jack could be coming up for you as well, because you said
We're gonna put it on
you
the back
saw
burner.
some pictures recently where you're like, okay, I kind of get it.
I said I saw the vision, but he's simmering on the back burner right now, on the warming center.
And here I think Tommy Paul just catches a case, because the fervor that he engenders doesn't meet my level of attraction. So while I can accept that he's a perfectly attractive fellow,
Sure.
it's just, I just don't get why he would be a default top 2 pick. For example, on the Nothing Major podcast.
Well, and their list was very American-centric, too. He wears his clothes really well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give him that. He really does. I will say Nothing Major had a very inspired pick, and I have to give credit for picking Zhang Zhizhen.
In this next segment, we're going to talk about some of the things that go into making a tennis player hot. What's the criteria? If we say the Nothing Major guys are ill-equipped to make the list, what other than us being gay makes this list work?
Like, what are our credentials?
Well, one of the reasons why is because we can delineate a few more characteristics or categories that people may fall into.
And not feel, like, ashamed or weird about it.
Yeah. And also we can give our own preferences as experts in the field. They are not experts in this field.
Right.
When you talk about attraction and things you like, a lot of times it falls out of conventional categories that defy explanation. Like when I say to you that somebody always looks unwashed, and there are quite a few tennis players who fit that bill, for me, it's not a rational thing.
But I know exactly what you mean when you say it.
And for me, that's Tommy Paul and Stefanos Tsitsipas. Always.
Oh my god. Unwashed?
They just always look like they need a shower to me. And apologies to those men, but that's not something I can overcome. I don't care how ripped you are, how hot you are. Like, it's just not for me. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, though, we've come up with a few categories. They include aura, slutty shorts, personality, ass, legs, smarts, and dumbness.
Two sides of the same coin.
Hair, daddy types, and folks who are just straight up handsome. Not necessarily the hottest people on the planet. They may not, on the Virginia Johnson, Bill Masters sexometer, they won't get...
How did you remember?
They won't get the needle moving to a full 10, but you are genuinely drawn to them based on how attractive they are.
Faces that could go on a coin.
Yeah.
And your categories will be different than ours.
The category is aura.
I feel like you could go in any direction for this, but Bjorn Borg has aura. He was possibly tennis's first sex symbol, first male sex symbol at least, and basically he could qualify in any of the categories we've listed. Bjorn Borg is and was a superstar.
And he's somebody who kept his aura throughout his lifetime. Some people are hot for a very short window, and then follicles fall. All manner of things happen that they just fall by the wayside. They open their mouths.
Follicles can fall and you can still retain that aura, right? But...
Well, Grigor's fell, and he found them. He
resuscitated, even. Grigor is another one in this category.
He's also somebody that the men want to be as well. They all seem to love being in his presence. And it's not just because he's a good guy. Grigor, it just seems he has this magnetic energy and quality about him that everybody's attracted to. You can somehow navigate dating Maria Sharapova for a couple of years, be rumored to be linked to Serena Williams subsequent to that, and still come out unscathed completely. Nobody, no fandom, nobody anywhere is holding anything against Grigor Dimitrov for those two alleged romances.
Right. This is sort of off topic, but I was reading some stuff about how there have been all these studies on attractiveness, and people tend to assume good things about conventionally attractive people. Attractive men find it easier to advance in the workplace, and there's sort of this assumption that they are good because they are handsome, and that people who are not attractive are just simply either not there or less good. So part of this might be people find Grigor handsome and they assume good things about him because of that.
But see, this is how this works as well with men and women, right? The conventionally super hot, attractive woman is assumed to be a bitch.
Or not smart.
Or unapproachable,
right.
aloof, da-da-da. That dichotomy exists in so many facets of life. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you, when you wrote aura, because this was your category, what did you mean?
Well, I don't know what the young people mean because I'm not young.
Yeah,
I know young people say
what
aura
the hell
a lot.
Aura farming? I don't know what the fuck that is.
For me, it just means they have a je ne sais quoi. They have an etc. quality that can elevate somebody above a more well-defined category.
The X factor?
Sure,
Charisma.
if you want to say that. Uniqueness, nerve.
Right.
Doesn't have to be talent.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned earlier that I would put Andrei Rublev in this category.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I found it interesting early when you said that people may find him non-threatening, that he is safe to be around. His behavior on court often is not.
Maybe, well, I don't know that I meant safe, but I meant that he needs to be helped, right? That he needs to be nurtured.
He gives off gentle vibes, which I appreciate.
Which is...
Off court.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. He also did that boy band thing back in the day, remember?
Oh my god, yes. They sang a One Direction song.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to overcrowd this category because so many of the other men fall into other categories, but I think that somebody like Andre Agassi falls into this category, especially early in his career. 1994 US Open, that was straight up aura, that performance. The look, the hair, the everything. Of course, a lot of it was a performance. We now come to find out, be it the hair that was hanging on for its dear life,
the wig,
the way he actually was in his relationships, the
way he didn't really like being there, he did not like tennis. But a lot of this is a performance. Right? This is celebrity.
Image was everything back then.
Hardly anyone in tennis history has had aura like Agassi.
Slutty shorts. This is a very important category.
Yeah, now we're getting somewhere.
Very important category because you could be, quite frankly, not that great looking, but be elevated to such high levels by just shortening the inseam and wearing your shorts properly, not at your belly button, just letting your assets sit right. And showing off what you have. Like we're in a golden era of men's tennis now with short shorts since they went away.
Right.
Because we lived through that in the 80s.
Because they're still not as prevalent as they were.
No.
Not nearly. So who is the blueprint for this generation?
I know you're going to say Nadal, but I don't think that that's true.
Nadal is retired. I'm talking about this.
Okay. Well, I would say the most eager is Holger Rune.
He's one of them, but he wasn't the one I was thinking.
Mahach?
Yes, Mahach.
And Mahach is a perfect example of a guy who is perfectly good looking, but he is elevated to a completely different tier, a god tier, based on how he wears his shorts.
Yes.
I will go to that match. If you're playing on court 17 at the US Open, I will be front row.
Holger consistently hikes up his shorts, even shorter than they are. Carlos Alcaraz wears slutty shorts, but not excessively.
No, they're demure for what they are in this era. I don't think he's doing enough, personally, but it's certainly not Diego Schwartzman wearing basketball shorts on a tennis court.
Now, you mentioned Rafa. Of course, talk about the prototype. Rafa was wearing longer pants when in his infancy, but in 2022, he comes out with these Batty Riders.
It wasn't until the twilight of his career that he really thoughted it up on court. He even showed up, I forget which tournament it was, but in the spring of 2022, he debuted those pink shorts.
Yeah.
And there was one specific pair that was clearly a size too small because we never saw it again.
I don't even know how he got in those.
It was truly jaw-dropping. Like, wow. What a moment that was.
I wrote basically every player in the 70s and 80s were wearing short shorts. And I strongly believe that the 90s NBA ruined shorts forever. That style, that was the style that we grew up with, you and I. The long shorts, baggy jeans, that just killed short shorts.
And now mass production, streetwear, department stores, they're going back to that style now. You can barely find a 5-inch inseam in a regular old mall store.
The kids are wearing baggy clothes. And I added Feliciano Lopez with an asterisk because I know he also sometimes wore the long pants like Rafa. His shorts were not always necessarily short. The reason that they're slutty is because you could often see his jock straps through the shorts. And I'm just going to leave it there for the people who maybe that's a little too much for.
They also rode up all the time. He always had, for some reason, I don't know if one thigh was bigger than the other, but it was always one leg was much shorter than the other one halfway through a match.
Okay, this is closely related to aura, but the category is personality. Just having a good personality, or an attractive one.
You've probably noticed by now that we're kind of mixing current with former players as well. I think one of the male tennis players that had the most personality of the last 30 years was a 3-time French Open champion, one Gustavo Kirten.
Yes. I mean, just everybody loved Guga.
Gal Monfils, personality for days. On court, off court, we've often said on the show that he is one of the most popular players in practice. His practices are always mobbed by older white women. That's his demographic.
Sorry, we're not stereotyping. That's just observation.
No, when you say somebody has personality, you often think of it as them having a great personality. Some might say that Andy Murray had a dour personality. But it's a personality nonetheless. Something that gave something interesting regardless. Because quite often it's a lot of banality with male tennis players. It's rote answers. It's not being able to understand the joke. It's...
Yeah. And there's also a language barrier with a lot of these guys, and I feel for them. But early in Andy's career, people thought he was boring, like you said, dour, but he's actually really funny. And you just have to spend some time with him to get it, right? So I personally found Andy's personality made him way more attractive to me. Not that he's unattractive, but it just added to the whole picture.
I watched so many Andy Murray tennis matches because of who he was, as opposed to his actual style of play, because that was torturous.
Could be, sometimes.
Often.
Who is more beloved than Juan Martín del Potro in the 2010s?
But does this fall into an attractiveness category?
I think so. I mean, people are very into him.
I struggle with the super talls. You know that.
I know.
The super talled and the super muscled. I struggle with that.
Right. He's not super muscle, but he is super tall.
Another Andy Roddick, again, for better or worse, personality.
Right. Not everyone's cup of tea, personality-wise, but I think it's worth a mention here because he is a notable personality. Like, there's something about him. And that's part of his celebrity, but also part of his game.
The category is all that ass.
Oh, what was that?
All that jazz?
Oh, I got it.
It didn't come across?
I guess we'll find out.
And that
Yeah,
ass.
got it this time.
Okay.
Well, this is where you're going to find out too much about us. Really,
I think they already know.
the alpha and omega of ass is Rafa. There is no competition, in my view. It simply has taken on a life of its own.
What Rafa's ass had going for it that others didn't necessarily is a level of jiggle that's necessary. You can have the plumpness, the roundness, the firmness, but it needs to have a little bit of movement as well.
Are you really going there?
Well, yes.
It has to be fat. That's what you mean.
Well, people talk about, and you have here listed that the new ass is Carlos, more demure, but his
Yes,
is more
it's
firm.
More mindful, more
Right, but it's
demure.
more firm. It's not nearly in the same category, not just by size.
No, I agree.
But
I agree. There's nobody in it. Rafa's is absurd.
Dominic Thiem's was also absurd.
Yes, I think there's this unholy trinity of Rafa, Dominic, and who?
Stan Wawrinka.
Right.
The first time I saw Dominic Thiem would have been right at the start of this show, or maybe a year prior, and you and your mother were watching Federer in the 300 levels. What is that grounds called now?
Oh,
The Aviva Center, Rexall Center?
at the time it was called Rexall Center, I think, at York University
Sobeys.
in Toronto. Yeah, now it's called Sobeys Stadium.
So you were up in the 300 level watching Federer beat down somebody
Right.
like nobody's business. And I excused myself to go to grandstand at like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock to go sit courtside because nobody was there and watch Dominic Thiem for the first time. Mm-hmm. And it was a revelation.
To paraphrase Jasmine Crockett, you went to see that bleach blonde, well-built
Big booty.
Dominic Thiem.
You can...
He was bleach blonde at that time.
He was,
Yes.
yes. You can Google Dominic Thiem for that reason, and you will come up with a lot of photographic evidence.
Yes. Some of which you took. Do you want to say that now?
Oh,
It was Cincinnati. I don't remember the year. But many of the photos you took of Rafa and Dominic have proliferated because we did not watermark them.
that's true.
They're
Well,
ours.
the Dominic ones were Cincinnati. The Rafa ones, I believe, were Montreal. Were they?
I'm remembering it differently, but
Either way, like to this day, if you see any pictures of Rafa at a practice in an all-white, soaked-through kit, with leaving little to the imagination, it was
might be.
the body service doing.
I mean, it's not like it's the only time it happened.
No, but
I recognize those photos.
it is one of our greatest contributions to the tennis world in our 11 years of doing this show.
And I think to this point, unknown.
It's fine.
Anonymous.
It's fine. I'm happy to gift it to the world.
I'm sure a lot of people have gained a lot of enjoyment from them.
Stan Wawrinka, last year or the year before at the US Open, I didn't even know he was playing on court 17. I just happened to be there for the match that was happening before. Then I said, oh, let me just stick around a little bit longer since I saw that Stan was coming up. And I was front row on the baseline, staring straight down that barrel of an ass as he prepared to return.
It's ridiculous.
It's absurd.
It's like a hockey player. Stan has what the kids call a sleeper body, or sleeper build. That's what they say. Because you may not necessarily know that he's built based on how he dresses. And I added Tsonga for the nostalgia. And, he's one of my faves. I haven't talked about him in a long time on the show.
We're not going to cover everybody in these categories. I'm sure you have your faves who...
I can't believe you would call Tsonga everybody.
That is not what I was trying to say.
The what left.
I'm just saying, feel free to hit us up with who you would also put in these categories that we did not mention.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a slight, it's just for brevity.
Legs, drumsticks. Well, you saw most of our socials at Wimbledon were dominated by Marcos Giron.
It's no secret how we feel about that at this point. Camilo Ugo Carabelli.
Yeah, for real.
That's crazy.
Look at his Instagram.
That is wild. And then a throwback, Tomas Berdych.
Oh, yes, I forgot. And tennis players tend to have great legs. So this is a very short list.
Which is why it's so confounding, the Matteo Berrettini situation.
That's just how he's built. Some people would look at him and be like, wow, those calves are like my cup of tea. Others not.
We listen and we don't judge. You are famously one to like a himbo.
Correct.
The dumber the better.
I'm not naming names, but I like a dummy. And there's something, I don't know, appealing about a dum-dum.
Well, and there's so many dummies that when somebody like Tipsarevic or Ernest Gulbis espouses that they read a book,
Yeah.
then you become a fan for life.
Do you remember how people went crazy when they found out that Tipsarevic was into philosophy? Isn't he the one who had like the Schopenhauer tattoo?
I did not pay attention to that man and his goggles.
Mm-hmm. Oh, not his goggles.
Gulbis was the same thing.
Yeah, is a book reader. But nobody is going on and on about Iga Świątek reading lots of books.
She's just boring. She's a nerd. Ugh.
And to be clear, that's satire, what you're saying.
Well, yeah, the dichotomy.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. That's Lisa Simpson. Let me just say that when I say I like dummies, they're nice ones. Not the mean. You can't be mean and stupid. Like,
no.
You can be mean and hot, which I'm not into, or you can be hot and stupid, but you cannot be mean and stupid.
I saw a message board, I think it would have been another Reddit thread, where the prompt was, who are the hottest ATP players, or which ATP players have the most personality? And the response was, Medvedev and Kyrgios. They have great personalities.
Actually, I wanted to go back to personality because that is attractive to some people, right? Some people like the bad boy.
You cannot be serious!
A little bit dangerous. They certainly have personality. It might be a bad personality, but they certainly have it.
The category is hair. Some had it, some lost it.
I love hair. Guys with gray hair. Like
gray hair or
great hair. Guys with good hair is really attractive to me.
You also like curls.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which I think you have curls, right?
Yeah, I certainly do. Guga had one of the most famous manes in history.
Yes.
Casper Ruud had great hair until he recently chopped it all off, and he lost all of his powers because not long after we find out with his Spotify Wrapped that his top listened podcast on the year is the Joe Rogan Experience.
He got Samsoned. And you know what? On our last episode, I said that Casper is so handsome that he looks good in spite of the buzz cut. I'm officially retracting that statement because now I find him unattractive and I find his hairline jacked up.
And I feel like I've been given the license to say that lips are important to me. And he does not.
Really?
Does not have.
He does. Oh, okay.
So
under the hair category, I added Sebastian Grosjean.
Back to Casper a little bit first, though. Casper is truly confounding to me because I've never been able to fully get on board, even though objectively I can understand that I find him very handsome. Mm-hmm. He's a handsome guy, but I don't find him hot.
Okay.
I find him to be
there's something missing for you.
Federer-esque in that sense. Like,
yes.
Federer is a very handsome guy, even better looking now than he was when he was in his 20s, in my opinion. But there's just a lot of things that just don't work for me on a hot level with Casper.
Okay. I mentioned Grosjean. I wish I have very, very straight hair. I wish I had waves or curls. But somebody who wears a hat and you can see their waves coming out the back of it, I love that. Roger, in the 2004 to 2009 era, had impeccable hair.
Musetti once had great hair. Could again someday.
Mm-hmm. Shorn.
Rafa had great hair.
He sure did.
I think Rafa should immediately change the coordinates on his super yacht and sail to Turkey. I think that's what he should do currently.
Yep. I mean, he's already in the Mediterranean. Just turn right. A number of players already have. We won't name names.
Have you ever seen those pictures of flights coming back from Turkey?
I sure
And
have.
it's all these men.
With like bleeding scalps. Yes. That lasts a long time.
It does.
You know, like that period where your scalp looks crazy and red.
Well, he's retired now.
Well, you have time, sure.
David Ferrer had great hair.
Yes.
Arnaud Clément, when it was long, when it was
yeah.
short, he had one of the truly great manes of hair in men's tennis.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Haas. And, well,
Okay.
everything else about Tommy Haas is an ick. But you cannot deny that he had great hair for a stretch.
Okay. I mean, there was that period, I guess, in the 90s and 2000s where all the Latin guys, like all the South Americans and Spanish guys, had long hair, ponytails. A lot of them had great hair. Sergei Bruguera appears to still have a great head of hair after all these years.
You've snuck Bjorn Borg in again into this category.
I said he can be in any category, but you cannot argue with Bjorn Borg's hair in the 70s.
You certainly cannot.
Part of his appeal.
Then you have the daddy types. People are into daddies.
They sure are.
Roger Federer and Karen Khachanov were daddies when there were babies.
But Khachanov is not a daddy. Well, maybe he is now.
Well,
but he what?
Roger was a daddy baby, and Khachanov was a baby daddy.
Wow. I feel, honestly, that Musetti and Fritz would more accurately fit the description of baby daddy.
I was just trying to do a thing there. Okay.
It worked.
Khachanov has looked 40 from a very young age.
Now that you say it, he has. He's attractive. And people say he looks like Liam Hemsworth. But he also looks, I think, more mature than his age.
He does not have the shoulders to be a Hemsworth.
Oh,
I've always
damn.
taken great umbrage with that comparison. It's like going to the grocery store and instead of buying Frosted Flakes, you buy the store brand version.
Oh my god. As a cereal lover, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And the store brand still
That's
tastes good.
crazy.
It still tastes good.
Let that be known that I did not say that.
It still tastes good. It's just not the same thing.
It's hard to compete with a Hemsworth. It's an unfair comparison.
Stan Wawrinka is a daddy type. I'm very uncomfortable talking about him in this category.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Given
Or any category.
his transgressions in his career.
Yeah, his personal life.
Yeah. A complete disaster early on when he
Yeah, because why are you 29 dating a 17-year-old girl? Why?
maximum.
Maximum. At the most 17.
I saw so many people do investigations on the internet looking at timestamps on pictures and whereabouts. Like, these people should be running drug testing. Like, trying to discern just how old Donna Vekic was when this relationship started. Like, that is not cute.
It's beyond.
Yeah.
Beyond that. But we're talking about daddy types. I added Ivan Lubicic because I feel that Ivan looked like a daddy when he was 21. And somebody, I of course will not say who, but somebody sent us a DM saying Lubicic was one of their faves, their hotties.
Todd Martin, definitely a daddy type.
Another one. Todd Martin.
He was a handsome man.
But I thought he was 45 when he was young. Like, no shade at all.
And then you have the handsome category.
The face that launched 1,000 ships. Do you know what that's from?
No, I do not know what that is.
It's a famous piece of iambic pentameter from Faustus.
I feel
by
like
Marlowe.
you knew I would not know this, and so you are stunting on me right now, and I do not appreciate it. I actually rebuke it.
It's about Helen of Troy. Is this the face that launched 1,000 ships?
You
It's
know-
a perfect line.
You know many things. Thank you.
So, the faces
Felix.
of tennis.
Felix.
Certainly.
Amazing face, unconventional face, super handsome guy. Mm-hmm. Do you remember how handsome Jeremy Chardy was when he was a tennis player?
He still is. We saw him at Wimbledon up close.
Mm-hmm. James Blake.
Yep, definitely.
Mark Philippoussis. Mm-hmm. Australia was just so fortunate at the turn of the millennium because they had Mark Philippoussis and Patrick Rafter. Like, come on.
And these days, Archufis. Like, there is just no argument that Fils is one of the most objectively handsome dudes in sport, period.
Yeah. I think if you were to build a tennis player to fit the majority of these characters of today's generation, it would be him. Maybe not excelling or being a medalist in any category necessarily, but the most well-rounded.
No pun intended.
We both compiled a list of tennis players that we found to be hot.
We did. This is probably the part you're all waiting for.
You was stupid enough to just put your list on the agenda.
Yeah.
So I've seen this list for a very long time. I refuse to put my list to give you a heads up ahead of time.
Right.
So you don't know what my list looks like.
Okay, so who goes first?
You go first.
All right. My list, there's no bracket, there's no ranking. This is not in order of importance.
So I think I'm going to, if you and I have any overlap, I'm just going to tell you right away that I have them on my list as well. And then afterward, I will name the players that weren't on your list.
Okay. I've got Tomas Mahach.
Yep.
Grigor Dimitrov.
Correct.
Period. Carlos Alcaraz.
Mm-hmm.
Francis Tiafoe.
I do not.
Casper Ruud. But, I'm going to cross him off.
Listen, he was on your list. He was on your list.
But
what's the reason for getting him off the list now?
Well, it's really the Joe Rogan thing.
So let this be a lesson that there are... The ick is always just around the corner.
The lesson is the more you learn about these guys, probably the less attractive they're going to be. Because I'm sure most of the players would listen to Joe Rogan or the equivalent in their language, right?
He even said in that interview, he said, like, I'm sure everybody else, Joe Rogan.
Everybody
else? Probably, yeah.
What, you can't just listen to Good Hang with Amy Poehler? My God.
The idea was that this is an uncontroversial pick because so many people listen to him.
Right. Oh, like everybody else, Tucker Carlson. Anyway.
I did not have Casper Ruud in mind.
I have Luciano Darderi.
Did not.
Who I think is just such a cutie. ADF. That's Alejandro Davidovich Fokina. Obviously, he's going to be on my list. He is bae.
He is your bae, yes, not mine.
I have Bu Inchakete.
As do I.
Wow. 10s across the board. Marcos Giron.
Naturally.
Camilo Ugo Carabelli, the Argentine with an Italian name.
I do not. Mr. Legs.
Francisco Cerundolo.
Absolutely.
Right?
Like, this dude has one of the most unconventional, beautiful faces in all of tennis.
And someone who's generally, like, leaner than I like. But seeing him in person also helps.
Yeah.
João Reis da Silva.
I do not, but happy for that man.
He just celebrated a birthday with his extremely hot boyfriend. Archufis, we already talked about.
Goes without saying.
One I think you will not have. Stefanos Tsitsipas.
I do.
Really? But you said he looked unwashed.
Despite the stench.
Wow. He's so good looking that you're willing to overcome that.
It's true.
He really does have like a movie star face. And I've said it before.
Like, he could be on Survivor for 2 months.
And he looked the same?
No.
Oh.
But you could still find something there. Like, but the personality, I mean, there's just so...
Let's not, Can you tell that I'm willing to go there with some of them and not others?
For example?
Right, well, they're sacred cows, I guess. With Rafa, there are a lot of things politically and socially that really turn me off. But the thing is, you can also tell that our preferences are of our time. There's a lot of nostalgia baked in, which is why I can't fully release some of those folks, right?
Not a full release.
Oh my God. Okay.
Is that the title of the episode? Full release?
No.
ATP thirst?
Jesus. Anyway, we stopped with Stefanos. My next one is Christian Garin, one of my all-time faves. I think he's so adorable.
Used to be, for me.
Wow.
No longer.
Okay. Alexis Galarneau.
Correct.
And not correct. There's no such thing as being right. You're just saying that you have him on your list.
Both.
Okay. And then finally, Andrea Pellegrino, who he has been trapping for years, for damn near a decade. He's still out here. Somebody give him a wild card to the main draw of a slam.
He is right up your alley.
Yes. Okay, that's my list.
Like a tennis player made for you. Missing from your list that I have on mine, Hadi Habib.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Thomas Echeverry. I find him to be so cute.
Yeah.
Mackie McDonald does not get near enough attention for these American men in particular.
True.
His kits don't help. Like, the shorts are crazy most times. It doesn't fit. The whole thing tends to not fit. But underneath my clothes.
Again, showing our age. That was a high school song for us.
He's a very handsome dude.
Yeah, he's a doll.
Did you say Fabio Caboli?
No, he was definitely on the bubble for me. Can I just say
He was on the bubble for me.
That is not a fully white man.
What is this?
That's not.
Why are we doing this?
It's not related, but
Whoa.
I just wanted to put that out there that Southern Italians especially have a lot of mixed ancestry that maybe they don't know about.
It's giving, but where are you really from? On the last episode, I told you I did not like the shirt tearing, the shirt ripping, the Davis Cup theatrics, all that stuff. Was not into it. The shorts are an abomination. But there's a certain cuteness there that really still prevails. For now. On the bubble, but for now, he remains. Pablo, well, this is limited to just... No, he is a current player still.
Who are we talking about?
PCB. Pablo Carreño Busta.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, officially, I think
he is.
No,
he is, yeah.
Oh my god, I would have picked him with his nose.
Like, what are you doing here?
Oh my god, I love him.
That's a big oversight on your part.
Let me tell you, I love a big nose.
Borna Choric?
Yeah.
He's lost a lot of the luster in recent years. In his younger days, he's still, I'm sure, maybe not even 30 yet.
I don't think so, no.
But he had it all.
Didn't we almost have it all?
Didn't we? I like Alexei Popyrin.
Oh, okay.
Jason Kubler. I watched him.
You
have this look on your face.
You're going to have to give me some help here.
Australian player.
I don't know who that is.
I watched him play Francis on Grandstand at the US Open a few years ago. Into it.
I love that for you.
And that's it, I think.
So you're saying that our list had a lot in common.
A lot in common. But there were a few.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that Felix is also on the cusp. Felix, when he is revving and stepping up his LEOC on court, is a thing to behold.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe still a few more years away from filling out his physique.
Yeah,
to be truly hot. He's still giving too young physically for me.
He's just extremely lean.
Yeah.
I love Felix as a younger brother.
Okay.
No, but I think he's very handsome. I personally can't see him that way.
Oh, okay. And finally, on this, is this the final part of the episode?
I think so. Well, yeah, for the most part.
We're going to talk about... Oh no, there's still a couple more things left.
Okay.
Absolutely. Anyway, so what I was getting at is we're going to now let you know what our embarrassing crushes are.
Oh dear. I know mine by heart.
How many do you have listed?
I only put 3. I put it on a private Google Doc.
I have...
And now it's going to be made public.
I have 4. One of them is going to be truly embarrassing.
Really?
Truly.
Okay.
Like, I am so embarrassed for my former self.
I cannot wait. So let me go first, because mine are not that interesting.
Okay.
The first one is Stan.
Okay.
For reasons listed previously. Like, I am basic and human and embarrassing. Stan was so hot to me, but he also is a creep, and I just cannot abide that. Feliciano Lopez.
Okay.
Who, like, that's just a biological thing.
Yeah. So
but he's kind of an asshole.
Kind of.
So that hurt it. And then finally, Leighton Hewitt. Let's situate us, right?
At the start of his career, Leighton was very cute.
Yeah. So you and I are around the same age, but we started watching tennis at different times. And I started like probably the last quarter of 1999, right? And then into the 2000s is when I really started. So Leighton was number one around that time. This is why, of course, I'm a Serena and Venus fan, and Capriati and Davenport. But anyway, Leighton to me was like so hot. And then I learned more about him, and it just killed it. So that's why it's embarrassing to me.
Was it the bulge?
Excuse me? That's too far.
The whispers around the tennis locker rooms.
That's why we have the explicit tag on our episodes.
The whispers around the tennis locker rooms. It's been
Well, you can
well
Google it.
rumored. Yes.
And yours?
I didn't have him listed here, but I would say Stan fits that criteria again. I'm going to leave the really shocking one for last. This one is pretty bad too, but no longer the case once I learned what was really up.
Okay.
I was really into Basilashvili.
Oh, yeah, but Judi Dench would say he's been exonerated. Did you hear about that today?
I did, yes. So that died a very swift death.
Yeah, same for me too. He's a very good-looking guy, but that killed it.
When we first started this podcast, back in the tennis Tumblr days...
Oh my god.
Fabio Fonini? Like, Fabio was top
No, he
tier.
was hot boy central.
Top tier. Speaking of reading, there was a famous photo on Tennis Tumblr. I hope somebody can find it. I'm sure I have it on, like, a laptop somewhere upstairs, where he's reading by a dimly lit lampshade in his underwear.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Crazy.
But another one whose personality just killed it.
Killed it. I don't know if this is embarrassing or not, but Goran Ivanisevic had a stranglehold over me.
That's not
in the
embarrassing.
late 90s.
Not at all.
Okay.
Wait, that's not the one you saved for last?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But I feel like the more we learn about him now and his,
Yeah.
Am I ready to do this? It was a different time. They had a beautiful, gorgeous, stunning woman on their arm.
Enrique
and
Iglesias?
It really helped their standing. It's like when Travis Kelce was dating Black Woman. Jack Shue.
Oh, wow. That you definitely should have saved that for last because I'm gagged.
Back then, it was before 2016. Politically in the US, North America was same, but very different.
Indeed.
Corn-fed.
It was Obama era.
Corn-fed meant something completely different. It could have been a category.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he had a badonkadonk. Do you remember?
Yes.
Well, that's what happened.
And he was dating Sloane Stephens at the time.
Yeah.
Who knows? He could have shown up rocking a beanie and a chain and, it's a perfectly groomed beard, but it wasn't.
Yeah. And
it wasn't the case.
Grew into something entirely opposite to what that nostalgia was.
That's too funny. I thought you were going to go back to the 90s or something and say like Kafelnikov.
No, never, Yevgeny.
All right, so we've situated where we are in tennis history. And so a lot of what we're attracted to is based on our formative years, right? And for me, Rafa was a whole thing. I mean, young Rafa, we are the same age, basically.
Okay, but
we came up together.
What was peak Rafa for you? Because it wasn't initial Rafa. Rafa and I are...
Speak for yourself.
Rafa and I are maybe 3 years apart?
No, he was born in 1986.
He's 2 years apart, right? So we were...
Right.
It was... Even when he was young Rafa, that was an okay situation.
Yeah, we were around, let's say we're both in college. If Rafa was college age.
The pirate shorts, hated it. Hated it. Was not a fan.
Wow.
Wasn't really into the sleeveless tops either. I know I caught a case from somebody who listened a few years ago.
Well, because you said somebody wasn't qualified to wear those shoes. I mean, that top.
Right, but I've never been a fan of the sleeveless top. You know this.
I do, but I love a sleeveless
Not
top.
just in tennis. In
Yeah.
general, I'm not a fan of tank tops.
You're not looking for arms or whatever.
No.
That's not your thing.
So it wasn't until the 2009s, the 2010s era
Yeah.
that I feel like he came into his peak hotness.
Oh, okay.
Like the transition from I'm not a girl, not yet a woman. All I need is time. When he,
Sure, yeah.
while he's on his way, that's when I thought he was like super hot.
Okay. I was with him from the beginning because we were really growing up at the same time, you know.
To be clear, I was still a super fan.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about hotness.
No, so am I.
Okay. It's unfortunate that the hair didn't make it further than it did. Because I think it really lost him a few years of peak hotness.
Yeah, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with being bald. It's just that I feel like he's not committing to either one. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Either lop it all off, I'm with you. I will ride with you regardless.
Those follicles are lip syncing for their life.
But do something. Other retired players who would have made our list. We mentioned Dominic Thiem, of course. Bjorn Borg.
Some of these did make the list.
Well, sure, but no, the official active list. You know,
Okay.
they didn't make. Bjorn, Tsonga for me.
Tsonga would have been lighting up your leaderboard all over the place.
I mean, talk about faces. Right, really one of the most handsome guys.
Tsonga is squarely your number 2, maybe even a 1B
No,
for you.
No, never.
Who above Tsonga would be your number 2?
Well, there's no 1B, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
There's only one.
So he's your number 2. Tsonga is your number 2.
Probably, yes. Robert Farah, a thirst-trapping king.
Yes.
Still.
Fernando Verdasco, when he was younger, I thought was really attractive.
Totally.
He grew into a complete meathead, unfortunately.
Well, good for me. I love meatheads.
Paradorn Srishapan,
Yeah, very good-looking dude.
Jan-Michael Gamble. Like, this dude had the looks of what a lot of these young American tennis players think they have now.
And I should say, still does.
Yes.
Still looks great.
I was convinced that he was named after Jan-Michael Vincent.
Is he not?
Is he?
I mean, I don't know many Jan Michaels.
I don't.
I don't know. Maybe you should ask him.
Maybe we'll hit him up to find out. Back in the day, they came up together, 2 Germans, young Germans, taking the ATP by storm, or threatening to. You either picked one or the other. It was Tommy Haas or Nicholas Kiefer, who ended up being a bit of an asshole, I believe.
Right.
But I always thought he was much better looking than Tommy Haas.
Oh, okay. We mentioned Mark Philippoussis already.
Pico Monaco. Remember him?
Oh, yes. The whole Spanish crew at that time.
No, I think he was
Sorry, yeah, not Spanish.
Argentinian, but part of Rafa's Spanish brigade. Mm-hmm. And Tommy Robredo, one of the most handsome men.
Oh my god, love Tommy.
We asked the listeners on Blue Sky and on Instagram to tell us who their hot players were in their lifetimes, then and now. And the top 3 were the clear favorites in Nadal, Safin, and Patrick Rafter.
In the retired category.
And current, Grigor, Matteo, and Casper in that order. Not a single mention of Carlos Alcaraz,
I was very surprised by that.
but 2 mentions of Yannick Sinner.
This was a very unscientific poll, reflective of our listenership. 46 players in total were mentioned, but those were the top players.
I know Marat Safin was and is very popular with tennis fans and or listenership. Never did it for me.
It was never a thing for me, but I'm missing something, clearly.
Do you remember some of the hottest moments in tennis?
I would like to keep those private.
These are things, I mean, we've had many things happen. We've had the ESPN body issue photo shoots. Mm-hmm. We've had stars starring in music videos. We've had pretty much every Spanish male tennis player in history has posed nude for a magazine. Underwear shoots.
Yeah, like Rafa's underwear campaign was a huge
Plural.
deal. Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of the one in 2015.
Armani and then
Armani.
Tommy Hilfiger.
The Rafa and Shakira video Yeah.
It was a safe choice too because he was besties with PK as well.
There's, of course, the Stan body issue.
So you're saying it wasn't the John Isner photo shoot?
For me, no. But that was also a thing. Carlos Alcaraz recently did a Calvin Klein shoot. This was actually before he was... This is interesting, this trajectory.
Yeah.
Because Rafa waited a long time till before doing the underwear shoots. Carlos did it very, very early in his career, and it almost felt calculated. Like, okay, I've done this now. I don't have to do it again. Because he's not really out here thirst trapping.
No, he's going to do it again.
I don't know.
Absolutely going to do it again.
It's just interesting because that was like a very slutty photo shoot, but he hasn't really shown that propensity since. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
He's been busy. He's part of this heated rivalry on tour.
No, but everything is calculated, right? Everything is planned by your team. And
see, what I find more interesting about it is that when Rafa did his second one in 2015, one John Wertheim said it was desperate.
Yeah.
That it was symbolic of the end of his career.
It was a late career
like,
money grab.
Don't you have anything else better to do? In fact, you don't. So that's why you're doing this. And instead we have Carlos doing this at what, age 19, 20?
The slams that Rafa won after that photo shoot, I cannot count on one hand.
So many.
I can't.
Berdick also posed nude. It's always this tasteful... The legs are scissored from the profile with the hand outstretched with the racket.
It's kind of like Grecian... You know, the body issue is very de-sexed, generally.
It is, truly. Tommy Robredo did it, Feliciano Lopez, Joe Wilfred Songa, Verdasco, Carlos Moya. So many players have done it. I need this to return. Mm-hmm. Why is this not happening anymore? It's been 84 years since we've been getting this stuff.
You mentioned Fognini here. He really has an exhibitionist spirit, does he not?
He does.
There was that moment when Rafa was filming in the locker room. First of all, why are you filming in the locker room?
I think it was Roland Garros,
He was
wasn't
very
it?
young. Yeah, and he accidentally filmed Fognini's ass.
Well, Fognini looked and saw them coming and then slipped his towel.
Okay. I think that's the end of our agenda.
Do you think we've contributed enough?
I don't know. I mean, we got the academic stuff in there, so...
Do you think we've done enough, thirst-wise, on this episode?
I think so. The most that I'm comfortable with. I mean, there are things that I would tell friends that I would not say on this. But I think we've said plenty.
I think you can read between the lines. Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed the episode, consider throwing us a few dollar bills for our GoFundMe to help us with season 12 of The Body Serve. You can find everything related to that and us at linktree.com/thebodyserve. My name is Jonathan. You can find me on Blue Sky at Tennis John.
And I'm James at ElliotJMR.
2 L's, 2 T's.
I hope you're enjoying your off season, and we'll be back with tennis coverage way too soon.
Wait, are you saying this is our finale?
No.
Oh.
But the season starts too early.
We'll be back again before the end of the year. I think we have one more left in us.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Let's say 1 for now.
Okay. Thanks for listening.
Till next time.
It's not just the one place. I have pain here in my famous ass.